Payday 3 is this troubled, misguided, mishandled child that gets abused by those that want it to grow, those that want it to fail, and those who are helping it. And the 21st of September is its second anniversary. With that, year 2 is finally over, and we closed it out with Delivery Charge, a quite frankly overpriced, underbaked, and disappointing sequel to Party Powder. If you've played Party Powder and wished it had gotten another few months in development, you will probably like Delivery Charge. As one of my friends put it, Delivery Charge feels like as if they took the feedback from Party Powder and incorporated it into part 2 of the heist. Which is why the setting is so similar, with it being another warehouse heist. But from what we know about the update pipeline, both of these heists might as well have been in development alongside each other, so one accentuating the other is fairly unlikely. Both of these DLCs stand on their own apart from each other. I would say Delivery Charge personally reminded me of Shadow Raid though, except you can also play it in loud this time. Stealth is for dorks anyway, so I can't say much about it, but it does seem like it's about on par with some of the other heists this time around. You also get to keep some of the progress you make from stealth if you end up going loud, which I guess is nice, even though it should be a given. But then, where does it leave the last update heading into year 3? Isn't it quite sad that this is what Payday 3 is at the moment? How the current CEO is just using AI slop all over his LinkedIn, including his avatar being an AI slop shopped picture of himself. The game that everyone had such high hopes for, that people were genuinely interested in during launch, only for it to become the sub 1000 concurrent players sobfest. In case you aren't familiar with how Steam specifically works, for every purchase you make, 30% of the prize goes to Valve before the rest goes to the actual developers of the game or DLC just purchased. So, if we take a hypothetical $7.99, around $2.40 stay at Valve, while $5.59 go straight to Starbreeze. If we take the peak player average of the last 3 months, we'll be at around 1,600 active players on Steam, which is the dominating PC platform. Let's do some more quick maths. $7.99 times 1,600, that's $12,784, with a cut of 30% going to Valve. That's about $3,835.20. So, $8,948.80 go to Starbreeze. How likely do you think it is for all of those supposed 1,600 active players to actually end up buying the DLC heist? Not very. This is the point where we get into take it with a grain of salt territory. Maybe 1 in 3 players actually buys a heist DLC. Especially with how little content there's included in every heist pack. No masks, no patterns, no suits, no gloves, no special blueprint presets, no cosmetics at all. No guns, no attachments, no nothing fun to go with it. It's just the heist itself, which ends up being extremely unappealing to the general consumer. So let's take the 1600 again, and take a third of those. 533.333, round it down for good measure, and you get to 500 people. 500 people times $7.99, that's $3,995. Let's consider the 30% cut here again. $2,796.50 go to Starbreeze. Consoles are obviously not included in this hypothetical, but let's multiply the money earned just for fairness sake. $8,389.50 for a heist that left zero impact. Obviously, these are all numbers made up using basic mathematical guesswork, but I think it's pretty safe to say that the real numbers are probably not much higher than this. For a studio of Starbreeze's proportions, which is supposedly 140 employees, how much is $8,400? I don't know, I don't work in the industry, but I'm sure it's not life-changing. There isn't much that makes players come back to this game. The interest is actively dwindling. Free updates are few and far in between, with little substantial content in them. Paid content usually comes with little to nothing, sometimes changes that were supposed to be in at launch of the game. All the while, the game is on glorified life support, with just as few reasons for the developers to actively support the game, outside of a hopeful comeback of the game, which might boost sales overall. For as much change as the game has seen, with a new armor system being introduced, with skill changes being teased or half implemented, with enemy adjustments coming with half-hearted explanations, and promises for future adjustments, I just don't know what I'm supposed to do with it at the moment. I guess that outside of being a number-driven rant, I just want to spark a thought in some people's heads that this game might just be on the way out. You can't release a game for a second time, but you can substantially rework it and shape it into a better product. Like Cyberpunk 2077, for example. Payday 3 is not a Cyberpunk 2077, and most importantly, I don't think it even has the potential to become an underdog story of No Man's Sky proportions. With that being said, happy birthday Payday 3. You're about as stale as you were the day that you came out, and I have a sneaking feeling that you'll turn more and more into Payday 2. Let's just hope that, in the case that you do, you'll end up being the better version of it, even if that means alienating the part of your audience that you initially lured in by trying to be different, by trying to have an identity of your own. But maybe for Payday 4, there will finally be some change.